one. I am.
You should be.
Yeah, I got a big one. It's a wall size.
You should be. So yeah, the Board of Education had a board retreat this weekend.
Formative experience.
It was a formative experience at Cafe 4.
Is that a retreat or is that like lunch?
That's in Market Square.
That's lunch. I mean, do they have bunk beds at Cafe 4 now?
No, they just met down there a couple days over the 19th and 20th and had some lunch and talked. There was a lawyer present.
So it was an emergency retreat?
No. They had a retreat.
Oh.
A retreat.
It was a regular retreat.
Chuck Cagle was in attendance.
I see.
But interesting, he is of Education Law Practice Group.
That's a very creative name.
He's also been a lobbyist for SCORE, for Tennessee SCORE. He's also been a lobbyist for the Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents. He was a lobbyist for the Association of Independent and Municipal Schools. He's a registered lobbyist for Pearson Education.
Pearson, that's the book company, right?
Pearson, yes.
That makes the books.
And he also landed a PARCC testing contract.
PARCC?
Without having to contend with any competing bids.
That's the tests, right?
Yeah.
The PARCC tests?
Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers testing. Yeah.
Huh. Is that the thing that we delayed 2 years here in the state?
Yeah.
I guess he lost
He was also very implementational in Bradley County School Board debating their legal representation and infrastructure funding. He was down there lobbying for different things earlier this year as well.
Wow.
So
it's pretty interesting. What was the Tennessee? Where is it there? The Tennessee Organization of School Board Superintendents?
Yes.
TOSS?
TOSS.
That's funny.
Yep.
All right.
You have SCORE, State Collaborative on Reform of Education, TOSS, and AIMS. SCORE, TOSS, AIMS.
SCORE, TOSS, AIM when you toss. So they had a retreat with a lobbyist at a place you can't sleep at.
Lawyer, illegal eagle guy.
Well, he's a lobbyist with a law degree.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you do all those other things and then have a regular lawyer job? You just probably spend most of your time doing that.
I don't know.
And meeting with school boards.
I wonder if he was there for free, or if somebody paid for him to be there. I wonder.
I don't think anything in education happens inexpensively.
I wonder.
Definitely not free.
I wonder who paid for that.
Well, I'm sure they have a retreat budget, Mike. I mean, that's part of why they needed more money last time. They needed a nicer retreat. They want to actually be able to go somewhere where they can sleep.
Well, at least there was a lawyer present.
A lobbyist.
At least there was a lawyer present.
There was a lobbyist present.
At least there's a lawyer.
Now, one of these days, we're going to have to get on a lawyer who doesn't work for a bunch of lobbying firms and explain to me how...
No.
Explain to me how the retreats get around the Sunshine Law stuff.
No. See, you can't, if you have just a regular lawyer, a person who actually knows the law.
Yeah.
Someone like, say, I don't know, a law director. Then
he's a lawyer.
Yeah, but he just gives opinions. He doesn't give anything based on the law. It's just opinions and, thoughts.
What are you talking about?
And, when you say that, well, I think this was, I don't think this was legally binding, we can take that opinion. Or we can just ignore it.
Yeah, I guess.
And do something else.
Well, he's just a regular lawyer. He's not an official lobbyist. I mean, those are the ones who are official.
Those
are the ones who opinions matter.
When he says something, you can say things like, I respect the law director. I respect his education, his opinion, it is that.
What are you talking about?
It's just an opinion.
This board is under no obligation to accept the opinion of any legal director.
Huh.
We make our own laws.
Well, they needed a lawyer with the certified lobbyist for these groups that they like. That's the advice they're going to take.
If they accept the opinion of a law director on what is legal and illegal, And if you do it without any type of challenge, then you failed your job and your duties to your constituents.
Absolutely. I mean,
the
that's
law.
A great point.
The law is not set in stone.
No, it's very fluid. It's like a swimming pool.
It's organic, and when you push on certain things, you can make it stretch and move the way you want. The law
it's more like
fits.
Play-Doh.
It's like that. It's like that stretchy wall in the Nightmare on Elm Street movie where Freddy's face pushes way against the wall, and you see that's what it's like. The laws aren't binding; they're stretchy.
Yeah, definitely.
They're rubbery,
elastic.
They're very elastic,
like an underwear waistband.
They are, and sometimes they snap.
Yeah, they do.
Sometimes other people snap them on you. Just to be mean.
Absolutely.
Just those are the bullies.
They are. They stretch. But we're gonna have. I feel kind of ignorant for asking that, but I don't mind asking. How does the retreat get around the Sunshine Law?
Hey, if
it's illegal for them to meet in private in an office, why is it not for them to meet at a restaurant?
Because they obviously announced it. Because you knew about this before it happened, right? Didn't you? And they had a lawyer there.
Well, could I have eaten lunch with them, maybe?
No, you're not on the board. Look, we're talking about a group of people that, when they're looking at the law directors saying, look, this is the way things have to go, and they're looking saying, well, we can take the law director because he knows the law, or we can just look at Robert's Rules of Official Order, Robert's Rules of Order. It says some things there, too. That's how we run our meetings. Thank you, Law Director.
Thanks.
But Robert's Rules trump the Law Director every time.
The Parliamentary Procedure Rules? Isn't that what Robert's Rules
states some clearly different things.
Oh, okay.
But we only use some of those.
If they use Robert's Rules, did they take down minutes?
No, we use some of those, and then we use some of the law director opinions, and then we, of course, cobble our own opinions to make it all fit.
Make a rule law lobbyist sandwich? Just
the thing you need to learn, basically, is just don't ask any questions. Don't question us.
Oh.
We know better than you.
I always forget that. That's a great rule.
We know that's the main rule. Is just don't question us. We know better than you. We're going to go have a retreat. Can we have I want a retreat. Can we have a retreat tomorrow?
See, when you first said that, I thought they were actually like, retreat! Sound the alarm! They've taken the AJ building. Fall back to Cafe 4.
No. Mike says, are you saying the law is flubber? Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
Nailed it, Mike.
It is. The law is very much flubber.
It was created by Robin Williams.
Yes. Yes, the law is flubber. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not, and you're talking the remake of Flubber.
Yes.
Whereas Terry and I remember Flubber as Dean Jones.
Was it
Dean Jones or was it Fred McMurray?
Oh, God. See, I said Robin Williams because I knew that was the
It was Fred McMurray.
I believe it was,
yeah. There you go. Sorry. Going way back into my Disney files in the back of my head. But yes, Mike, that's perfectly right. The law is Flubber.
That's exactly right.
Only not as buoyant. It doesn't make things fly. It just bounces really high. 8:32 on this interesting Monday morning. Now, in all seriousness, very, very sad news coming out over the weekend yesterday. Extremely, extremely sad news, especially if you live here in Tennessee. And, I was a Titans fan. I still am a Titans fan. Why are you always picking on him? Be nice to him.
Yeah, I want to tell you all this to shut up.
Seriously. God. So wrong. 865-243-TALK. 243-8255. JB, good morning. You're on the Rude Awakening.
Well, good morning. I know one of the things you do in the show is you bring information, politics. Also, you bring science.
Yes.
There's some information I want to pass along.
Climate change.
About a local professor, Jan Simic, who is a professor at UT, guy, by the way, and very good archaeologist, has discovered the oldest cave art drawings in North America in the Cumberland Plateau. It goes back about 6,000 years. Series of it's a very highly ritualized system they found and compared it to other religions. But they've been translating it. They've come up with some pictographs. And there's a pictograph of a cat wearing leopard skin Speedo and flip-flops, and the name was Terryog.
I knew that was coming.
So I'm gonna loop that back to Winchester. We can blame the entire hipster phenomenon on Terryog.
I believe we can.
Yes.
I think
it's science.
By the way, the other you were talking about something a moment ago. I want to see if I understand what you said. We had. Oh, by the way, you may not know this. Most folks don't. When the school board started going away to these retreats to get away from the citizens, really, mostly in Blount County and other places, and those retreats were paid for out of the pocket of none other than Lawrence Tulloch.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the man with the hat?
The guy with the bad hat. Bad hat.
Okay.
Call him black hat. Anyway, and also, every time there was a meeting between the school board and county commission, there was a so-called mediator. Now, why we need a mediator or a facilitator where we have elected politicians and officials being mediated by a private interest paid for by Lawrence Tulloch? Interesting. So, Mr. Tulloch paid for these facilitators at every meeting between school board and county commission, every time they had these group meetings, and all the other retreats. Now, I don't know, they went to Dancing Bear down in Townsend last year.
Yeah.
There was a big fire down there, and honestly, they knocked out all the Wi-Fi cable and the optic cables, and they weren't going to be ready. I think that's the reason they stayed in town this year, and that's okay. But Mr. Tulloch had always paid for these things out of his pocket. We have a private citizen paying for our school board to get away from us, 30 or 40 miles away, or paying a facilitator to go to a meeting of our elected officials and kind of help them decide what they wanted to do. Kind of interesting.
Interesting.
But this last weekend, you said that this guy who came and spoke to the school board,
Chuck Cagle.
Chuck Cagle. Now this cat sounds like he's a. Let me ask you a question. Now, if the school board says that they don't really want to listen, Mrs. Fugit and Mrs. Carson said, well, we've talked to a lot of people, even some people in Nashville. They could have been talking about Mr. Cagle because he works out of Nashville.
Yeah.
So he comes here and he's talking to us. And you know what Mr. Cagle tells us? Doggone it. I've read this outside agreement, and I like it. It's great. As a matter of fact, other people might want to copy it. I did. Who knew it was that good?
Amazing.
He also says the school boards ought to be more corporate. That means like a corporation, giving more power to the boss, and sort of just have the board of trustees kind of let him do what he wants to do.
Sure.
And that's one idea. I don't think I agree with that, but so this guy is a lobbyist for SCORE. Now, that's Bill Frist's organization. That's a huge so-called education reform group that has a huge contract with the state. He's a lobbyist for those people. He's a lobbyist for the Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents, so he works for the superintendents specifically. Interesting. He's also a lobbyist for Association of Independent and Municipal Schools. Those are like private schools.
Yeah.
And also, I like this, he's a lobbyist for Pearson Education.
Yeah.
That's the largest educational merchandiser in the country, and we have a contract with Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And also, he said he landed this partnership for Assessment of Readiness in Colleges and Careers. He got this contract on a no-bid job with nobody else bid on it. This guy can get things done, Mike. What's wrong with this?
It's the circle. Yes, it is. It's the,
this
circle of
cat
life.
knows what he's doing. I mean, gosh, he's hooked up.
It all just comes back
what
around.
could be
It's
wrong?
amazing.
And this is the guy. Remember, this guy represents all the superintendents. By the way, this guy works for 73 school systems in the state. 73.
Yeah, baby.
And by the way, in Bradley County recently, a member of their school board said they wanted to get rid of this guy after 14 years because he had conflicts of interest. Yeah, I don't know. What about that list says conflict of interest to you? I don't see that.
Nothing at all.
I don't really see much there. But he thought there was a problem there, and Mr. Cagle said, "No, I'm the man." I'm glad he was here, guys. I hope we get a lot of good information, and I hope we put Mrs. Carson and Mrs. Fugit's heart to rest. That the right guy. They didn't want to hire this guy. Maybe we'll be number 74 on his list of clients. I certainly hope so, because he seems perfect for the superintendent, don't you think?
I guess.
It's a natural fit.
It is.
Yeah.
Fellas, one last thing, and do you believe in superstition or reincarnation, anything like that?
Yeah, sure.
Do you?
Sure.
You know the story about the Chucky doll that keeps coming back from the dead,
yes.
the soul of a serial killer?
Yes.
Everybody knows that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like something we killed a few years ago is trying to make a comeback. People are trying to bring back the Midway development out there at Midway Road, piece of empty country land out there. They want us to undertake to put a big development out there, spend $60 million to help a few developers, but they stick the bill to the taxpayers. And the plan is put a big development out there, and that's way, way, way out there, way away from the sewer plants. They want us to build a giant septic tank. Now get this, 200,000-gallon septic tank, which has never been done before, and use it to filter out this massive development on Midway Road.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a septic tank that leaked?
Yes.
You know what happens when septic tanks leak?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So they want to build this. And by the way, no one's ever done this before. 200,000-gallon septic tank out there for all this mass development, Midway Road. Now, when that stuff leaks, it will leak out, and it will leak into the groundwater and into the wells. And by the way, the Midway development is on karst topography, which means it's full of sinkholes and caves. And, of course, that means that we have that all over Knox County.
Yeah.
That if they pour this stuff in there, it's going to go right into the water table. So we'll end up having to build a giant sewage treatment plant out there anyway. This is a Chucky doll that needs to be put back to sleep.
Well, that was a big 10-year battle that went on from 2000 to 2010 before it was finally killed off, and now they're trying to make...
Finally killed it, but it's coming back. Now, I wonder why. Could it be some politicians or one other offices, and this is like a going-away present for them? This is a $60 million white elephant. We can't afford this. Is a terrible idea. And there's a lot of things we could put out there, but a big industrial development isn't one of them. Wow. By the way, Terry, we hold you responsible, pal.
I understand. Hipster is your fault, Terry.
I understand.
Your comment?
I hadn't put it all together.
Well, Terry, he was the original hipster.
It was an accident.
You were just being yourself, and people started copying you.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.